Hi everyone, my name's Kieran Woodsmith from 81 Vintage, and over the past 10 years I have sold thousands of upcycled items, and today I'm here to share with you my top tips. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for lots more upcycling projects. This is part of a series that I'm doing, so be sure to check out the other videos. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 tips for furniture flipping beginners, and we're going to be discussing pricing furniture. So my first tip is not to worry about getting top dollar. I often see people who have upcycled piece of furniture and they're asking how much they should sell it for. Well, don't worry too much about how much to sell it for, just don't undersell it. Sell it for a price that you're happy with and leave it at that. Right now you're just a beginner, so don't worry about making sure you squeeze every last dollar out of that piece. Just sell it and get it gone, and save that profit and invest it into the next piece. The next thing is to learn your market and to see what is selling in your local area. Don't worry too much about what's selling halfway across the country or an exact piece that's selling the same halfway across the country, because the likelihood is your piece won't sell for the same amount of money. Each area has its own microclimate as to what people are willing to pay for furniture and how much value they put on people's time and furniture creations. Have a look at what pieces sell for both unfinished and finished, and that can help give you an idea as to how much value you put on your piece. Also remember that you're a beginner, so you may not be able to charge quite as much as someone who's been doing it for quite some time. My next tip is to think about your potential customer. You want to make sure that whatever you're offering is going to work for your customer. So if your customer is a sort of very office-based professional, they're unlikely to have a vehicle that can move furniture. So think about being able to offer delivery and whether you include that delivery in with your cost for a sort of specified distance. So in our shop space, what we tend to do is charge £35 delivery within 10 miles of the shop if it is under £350. If it's over £350, then we will include delivery for free. And that is at our discretion when we have chance to do it. And we work with the customer to come up with an appropriate time and date to deliver the piece. Also, if it's a piece that you've had for a long time, or it's a piece that you just need out of the way for some storage, you could also look at including delivery at a reduced rate in order to enhance a speedy sale. My next tip is to come up with a price that you are happy with. There's nothing worse than walking away from a deal and thinking, I'm not quite happy with that. So make sure that whatever price you come up with is a price that you are happy to sell that piece for. And there's lots of ways of doing that. For some people, they pull a figure out of their head and that's the price. For some people, they have a very specific formula. So if they spend this much on a piece and they spend this much time on it and they spend this much effort on it, then all of that has a value associated with it, and whatever the final price is whatever the piece is worth. To me, that's not the best way of doing it. You do have to go off your market a little bit. If you spend 300 hours on a piece and it's a little dinky tiny cabinet, people aren't going to pay you what you think that formula says. So make sure that it's appropriate to the piece. So for me, my formula is that I actually split it into thirds. So for what I tend to do is work out how much a piece cost me, how much materials went into it, and that is one value. Then I multiply that by 3, and basically I have a third for cost and materials, a third for my efforts, and a third for profit. Now, because I often get cabinets and things at the lower end, sometimes a massive cabinet can work out to be about £60 or £70, and that's just not appropriate. So then I have to use my market experience to adjust that price accordingly so that it sells for the appropriate amount. And also similarly in reverse, if I spend a little bit too much or a little bit too much time on a piece, I work backwards. And my best tip of all is to take profit when profit is offered. So if somebody comes to you and expresses an interest in your piece, if it's within 10 minutes of listing it, maybe hold on, but otherwise consider that sale. Taking that money when it's offered is usually the best option. As long as you're happy with the sale price, take it. And remember, cash is king, so if they're offering you profit and they can't collect it straight away, you need a deposit to hold it. So make sure you get that, and that locks in that deal. I've never had anybody pull out of a deal once they've left me a deposit, but I have had lots of people pull out where they haven't. Also, if someone's not willing to put down a deposit and someone else is, unfortunately, I would go with the person that is. And I make that very clear to the person beforehand when I'm speaking to them that I won't hold a piece for them. If the piece is still here when they're ready, they can have it. But if someone else is going to secure it instead, unfortunately, it's got to go to them. I need to sell this piece. I need to make money. And I hope that helps you make money too. I hope you find those tips useful. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think and any that I've missed. Catch you on the next one.